So we are reading At the Dark End of the Street, Black Women, Rape and Resistance, A New History of the Civil Rights Movement from Rosa Parks to the Rise of Black Power by Danielle McGuire. And our sessions it started June 3rd and they last until July 29th. They are from 6:30 to 8.
My name is Michelle Odom. I'm one of the co-hosts of the National Black Feminist Book Group. We started the book group on June 3rd, and we're now, on the other side of the curve. We're down to our last 4 meetings. So one of the things I wanted to do with the introductions tonight, because we've had a really consistent group, is have people give their name and answer the question or complete the sentence. I think you should join the National Black Feminist Book Group because ... So I'm going to let other people answer before I give an answer. Randy, do you want to go first with your introduction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Randy Henderson. I am a BWB intern and member, and I am watching and joining the book group from Atlanta, Georgia. I think people should join the National Black Feminist Book Group because there is a lot of raw, heartfelt discussions that I think everybody could use throughout the week if you aren't in a stimulating environment that allows you to have these type of discussions. And in my opinion, we've been focusing on literature that we don't really have access to in school or in everyday life unless you know that it's there and you look for it.
Okay, thank you. Georgette?
My name is Georgette Moses. I'm watching from Columbia, South Carolina. And I think you should join the National Black Feminist Book Group because there are some interesting topics discussed that will massage your brain, cause you to research your history and other people's history, and possibly change some things you thought in the past.
Joel, we can see you now.
I told you.
Wonderful. Hi. Are you ready to introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Joel Jones. I'm from a little town called Hamlet, North Carolina, via military. And, I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I like to learn. So therefore, this is why I joined the group, because, like the young lady said, I want my brain massaged, and I'm a seeker of knowledge, just not, American knowledge, but world knowledge, and knowledge is universal.
Well, welcome. You're down there in Georgette's territory. You're in South Carolina, right, Georgette?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I should also say that I'm a member and on staff with Black Women's Blueprint. We're based in Brooklyn, New York. And I think that, well, I have to tell a little story. A young man walked in here last night, and he started chatting with me. And he told me that he's 25 years old, and he grew up in a well-to-do, predominantly white neighborhood of Long Island, and he's a Nigerian American. And he was in search of his roots. He was here actually to take a class that someone else facilitates here. And so I asked him if he was a feminist, and he said no, not exactly, but that he has 5 sisters and is very sympathetic toward women. And he asked me if I knew any good books he could read. So, of course, I invited him to join the book group, and which he did. and hopefully we will see him at some point soon. So I don't know. I think that you should join the National Black Feminist book group because um, there need to be places where we can process together um, the very difficult and painful experiences that we have as women, as Black people in America. For example, last week, Randy, Randy, you've been on my heart all week because I know that the reading really kind of got to you
Yeah.
um, last week. The book that we're reading, have you had a chance to pick up the book yet, Joel?
No, ma'am. I've just been reading you all's questions.
Okay, good. Yeah, and the thing about this book is the chapters are pretty self-contained, so it's not like a novel. You don't really need to know what happened in the previous chapter to catch up with what's happening in the current chapter. But our notes are pretty good, and if you kind of follow that, you can still follow the conversation, I think. Um, but mostly, the book has a lot of stories about rape and lynching and castration and, really um, executions, just really horrific kinds of things that have been a real part of our history in this country. And to some extent, our current reality. Um, and it's it's hard to read about. Which is why I think a lot of people um, don't even want to know much about Black history. Don't even want to go see movies like 12 Years a Slave because it's painful stuff. Um, but I think when you have other people to process it with, you can hear how different people deal with our realities. So that's a very long-winded way of why I think people should join this book group and others like it. Um, the title, the book is At the Dark End of the Street, Black Women, Rape and Resistance, A New History of the Civil Rights Movement, from Rosa Parks to the Rise of Black Power, by Danielle McGuire. And tonight, we started on June 3rd. This session 1 will end on July 29th. So we're coming on down the road. And tonight we're on chapter 5, which is called It Was Like All of Us Had Been Raped. So we still don't have Vanita or Labib with us, but as always, I think we should keep moving with the hope that they will join us when they can. Does that sound right to you all?
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Joel, Randy, wave your hand or something. That's Randy. Randy's the other co-host of the book group, but we have been taking turns writing the summaries and facilitating the meeting. So tonight it just happens to be my turn. So I think I will start off reading the summary that's at the top of the notes. In chapter 5, it was like all of us had been raped. McGuire explores how a personal situation, rape, was used to advance various political agendas and sparked student activism. By comparison, in the last chapter, she looked at the opposite phenomena, how a political decision, Brown v. Board of Education, led to personal attacks in the form of rape, castration, and lynching. This chapter is primarily focused on events in Tallahassee, Florida during the middle of 1959. Highlights include the Tallahassee, Florida bus boycott, which was started May 26, 1956, the gang rape of Betty Jean Owens, who was a student at FAMU, Florida A&M University, by 4 white men in Tallahassee on May 2nd, 1959, the way in which students reacted to Owens's rape, extensive efforts to protect white womanhood, including the example of the lynching of Mack Charles Parker in Poplarville, Mississippi on May 4th, 1959, Florida's lynching record, which led the nation, reactions to the grand jury trial of May 6, 1959, and the June 12, 1959 trial of the rapists, Patrick Scarborough, David Beagles, Ollie Stoutamire, and William Ted Collinsworth, whom ultimately received life sentences, but not the death penalty. The way a personal event was politicized by people with alternative agendas and worldviews, and the student activism of the era, including sit-ins and freedom rides of 1960 and 61.